Want to welcome everybody to another episode of Levi's Youth Sports Talk. And today we have someone from that's a pitcher that plays for the 806 Lady Outlaws from Odessa, Texas. Want to welcome, I hope I don't completely butcher your name. I'm very good at messing up names. Just want to let you
So
know ahead of let me see. Eliziana
yeah,
Gonzalez. I don't know how to say the V word. Can you let everybody know your full name the right way?
Eliziana, Eliziana Vigil-Gonzalez.
Okay. What she said, y'all. No. No. So first I want to thank my sponsors, Justin Womack and Steve Aguado. Justin Womack for the chain and Steve Aguado for the banner that y'all see behind me. Also make sure y'all like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I also go follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Lizzie, I'm gonna call you Lizzie, okay? Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Lizzie, I know right when you first messaged me, even your dad when he messaged me, he mentioned we're gonna just get straight to it. You mentioned that you've been cut 4 times in one season, and now you're doing better than ever, right? You made an 18U Bombers team, all that good stuff. So, for the listeners and stuff, can you just explain, right? Being cut for one time is a lot on a young kid, but being cut 4 times is probably it's just crazy for a young kid, right? In one
Yes.
season. So, just your mental process. Just explain how you stay focused.
I would say my mental process, it was really hard. It was very it took a toll on me. The Definitely after the fourth time, it definitely took a toll on me. It was like for a while I didn't want to pick up a softball. It was so hard. And then my parents definitely pushed me to get back to it because I realized like I had to realize myself that before the fourth time, before any of it, how much I pushed myself to get better. I feel like the fourth time took so much more of a toll on me because I felt like I put in all this work. I'm talking about countless hours of work at DBAT from when it opened to when it closed. It was, so long that I had put in so much work to what I was doing. Um, but the mental part, it was frustrating because I felt like there was no coach that really wanted to see me and improve me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very hard and very frustrating, but it definitely built my mental a lot.
Okay. And I know you had told me also it was like you went in like an athletic depression, right? You didn't know
Yes.
what to do. Like it's just hard, which I'm pretty sure is really hard on the kid to just keep getting cut and cut, and the work that you're putting in, right? And just every time you go out there, you give it y'all, and you just don't make it. So like now, like what's your mental like now? Like right now, after all of that is done, you're doing good now. Like what is going through your mind at the time?
I definitely built more confidence from back then. I definitely built more confidence. It still is struggling sometimes. I still struggle
Mhm.
sometimes with like meeting girls on a team or meeting new coaches because I tend to still have that wall up. I don't want to really talk to anybody or do anything, but I still try and like do my best. I definitely have more confidence on the field and in what I do.
Okay, that's good. That's good. What inspired you to even want to pick up a softball and start playing?
We had moved to Odessa and I really had no idea what to do. We had moved from my hometown. I was really sad. I didn't know what to do. So my dad put me into softball and I just started playing ever since. I mean, I played it when I was little, but it was like little league.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and now it's just a whole nother ball game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite college softball player and what's your favorite team?
Probably Tegan Kavan and Texas.
Mm-hmm. No,
No?
no.
Well, my dad's a Texas Tech fan and my mom's a Texas fan, but I just started watching Texas and I grew in love with their pitchers and Mia Scott too.
Yeah, yeah. To be out there playing on the torn ACL is pretty
Yes, it's
wild. Just to even think about it, because that hurt. That hurts. I was be watching the play and I'm like, how is she even moving? But I mean, they have everything they that she needs to keep the pain away for a little while. At what age did you start pitching? Did you start pitching right when you got into softball?
No, I started pitching maybe a year or two later. I started by myself. I always knew I wanted to be a pitcher, but I started by myself around 12 is when I started. But I taught myself how to pitch and everything. I barely started going to a pitching coach like a couple months ago.
So was it just watching videos on YouTube or whatever, and that's how you was able to just pick it
Yeah,
up?
so just watching videos on YouTube. My dad taking countless balls to the ankles.
Shout out him because my daughter wanted to
Yes.
be a pitcher, and I was like, no, this ain't it. So you pitch, you right, you have to go through lessons and all that. So do you do any other kind of lessons throughout the week?
Throughout the week. With my team, we go to AP, training facility, and we do footwork and infield work and all of those things.
Okay,
And
so
then, of course, work by myself, hitting, tee work. You know.
okay. And do you play any other position besides pitcher?
Yes, I play shortstop, second base, and all of outfield.
Oh, okay. So pitcher is your favorite position that you like the most? Like,
Definitely.
I bet you get to have the ball in your hand at all times and stuff like that. But you got to be a pretty good athlete if you can play, the middle
Mm,
infield as well. So like it got to be even tougher for you, right? Because you like, I want to play the middle ends if I'm not pitching. So you have to make sure you put in that work, and then you also have to make sure you stay on top of all the pitching lessons because
mm.
once you slack off on that, it shows. So that's one thing you don't want to do. So I'm sure it's pretty tough for you.
Yes, sometimes
Yeah.
yes.
And yeah, like you said, right? Sometimes it's tough, but what's your motivation to like keep going?
My motivation is definitely God first, and then my parents, of course. My parents have pushed me a lot. They've definitely been the hardest on me. But it's what I need sometimes, and also myself. Like I just have really worked on my mental to
Mhm.
have that motivation after being cut that many times, and yeah.
Okay. What's the hardest thing about being a pitcher?
Hardest thing about being a pitcher, having a big stamina. Like when it's really hot
Mhm.
and you're just going and going and going, and sometimes when your defense is not working, it's the hardest thing because you have to find a way to get out of every situation, even when you're so tired.
Mhm. And like, what's it like having a special bond of chemistry with your catchers? Right? I'm pretty sure what first year 14U or second year 14U?
I'm a first year
First
14U.
year 14U, right? And you probably got like two or three catchers on your team, and you have to just get this bond with all of them. Like, how is that? Trying to stay on the same page with different catchers, knowing all of them is different in some kind of way.
Yeah, I would say sometimes it can be difficult to have that kind of bond with with every single catcher,
Hmm.
but I would say I find a way to bond with them pretty well
Okay.
and figure out what can help with each catcher.
Okay. And what type of leader would you call yourself?
A loud leader. I am so loud on the field. It is crazy.
Hmm. That's
One of the
good.
loudest ones. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Because being loud is the main thing. Communicating with your teammates, like that's one of the main things. It make y'all game so much easier because softball is pretty much one of the hardest sports out there. So talking to them, communicating on the field, it really helps. I'm pretty sure a lot.
Yes.
Okay. What's the hardest pitch that are the pitches that you throw? What was the hardest one you had to learn, and what was the easiest one, other than the fastball? Because I'm pretty sure fastball is pretty easy.
I would say my hardest one to learn was probably my screwball, because sometimes it will work and sometimes it will bounce off home plate and hit the batter's knee. And then the easiest one to learn that came the easiest for me was probably my curveball. I would say that came the easiest for me, and it's also one of my best pitches. So
Okay, so your best pitch is the curveball, and what's your least best pitch? I ain't gonna say
my
worst pitch,
changeup.
least best pitch.
My change it when it works, it can be really good, but it takes a while before it works. So probably
And
my change it.
okay. And like, so you said like, it works sometimes. So let's say you throwing it in the game and it's just not hitting, right? Do you, or let's say the tournament, right? So we won't, put it in between. But a tournament and it's like your changeup is just not hitting. Do you go home the next week to lessons or whatever and just try to focus more on that changeup, or you just be like, okay, it is what it is. I'm gonna still work on everything.
I mean, I still try and work on it, but change ups, they're I mean they're good to use, but
Mhm.
I will try and use them during lessons and stuff. But during lessons, we work a lot on speed and location. So,
Okay.
but yes.
Okay. And do you spin it a lot? I know you said you work on speed, but do you work on spin also?
Yes, I would say my ball does not have a lot of speed. Like my I top is like maybe 40, I mean not 40, 52, 53. But I have a lot of spin and it catches like batters off balance when I have that kind of spin. So I work a lot on spin.
Okay, okay. And what are some drills that you do to help with your spin?
For my spin, my pitching coach has this it's like a flat disc and we use it and we just spin it for like all my pitches and then we use this it's a huge softball, but it's the same weight as a regular softball and we use that to just spin and we do a lot of spin work there too, so I would say that definitely helps too and even doing snaps into my glove help,
Mm,
snaps onto like or like just snapping drop balls onto my floor, all that kind of things.
okay, so you can be at home and you just working on your drop ball
Yes.
and all that stuff. That's good, right? Because a lot of
Yes.
people think oh, pitching, well, I need to be outside to practice, I work
Mhm.
on this and that when all like you can really work on it like right there inside the house. You just can't throw it full speed.
Yes.
I don't know how your parents would like that if you throw it full speed in the house, right?
Ooh.
What has been your biggest struggle since becoming a pitcher?
My biggest struggle, I would say my biggest struggle would definitely be getting in my head when the umpires are not calling my pitches because I will see one that's went straight down the middle and he'll be like ball and I'll just be like, "Are we serious right now?" I would say definitely that. I've definitely been working on that um mentality of just like continue pitching, don't worry about it. Find where he likes it in the zone and just work from there.
Okay, and that also goes along with working on your mental game too, because pitchers have to
Yes.
have a very good mental game because, like you said, they don't always call. What you think, like, man, that was a strike, and then the umpire have a completely different little strike zone, and he don't call it right. So
Yeah.
if he just, it's a strike, he pitching, your coach keep calling that pitch, and he's not calling it like for a strike, and it's like it's a strike, right? What starts to go through your head at the time?
I would say definitely I try and use pitches that I know most batters like to chase, like an inside rise ball or a curve ball. I start using those more until I can find his strike zone. And I just kind of work from there. I know it can be very difficult sometimes because sometimes it's not always working because I'll already be
Mhm.
upset that those pitches are not getting called, especially when it's a 2-3 count and I pitch one right there and it's just ball and it's a walk. I'm like, so it's definitely hard, but I still find a way to get those chase balls and for batters to chase.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
like, would you call yourself like a strikeout pitcher? Like, do you have get a lot of strikeouts, or do you get like batters to ground out and stuff like that?
I would say I get a lot of batters to make tiny ground balls
Mm-hmm.
because of my spin. So they're really slow grounders usually, or like pop flies in the infield.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think because I'll be watching my daughter play, and I'm like, why is she always doing this? But a lot of people don't, understand. Like, a batter can be really good, but if the pitcher is just in her zone and pitching good, right, those things happen, which is hard to get the younger girls to understand because they want to bat a 700 every weekend when in all fairness, that's not realistic.
Yes, my coach told me that it's easier to get three ground balls first two pitches than a strikeout every three pitches.
Hmm.
And having
Yeah,
to pitch more pitches for a strikeout than for a ground out.
ground out. Yeah, sometimes you want them to make that contact.
And
Hmm.
it's especially good for double plays and stuff to get those plays.
Hmm. Yep, you're right. Slow grounders. Yep. Since you started pitching, like what has been the most memorable moment for you?
The most memorable moment, probably my first time ever pitching before the championship game. Like I was so nervous, and even my dad said he was like I have zero faith, honestly, because I had I know that sounds crucial, but I had barely pitched any like during a game or anything like that.
Hmm.
And the I think the game that I had pitched like two games before that, it was not a good game that I pitched. So my dad was really nervous for me, and I had pitched two innings, and he told me he was like, "Okay, time to get her out of there." But no, I ended up pitching the whole game, and it brought us to the championship, and it was definitely one of my most memorable moments.
Okay, okay. You had mentioned that to me in the that you had got like five MVPs or some or maybe it was your dad. Like what was that like? At the end of the tournament, been through what you've been through to just see yourself just getting all these MVPs. Like what is that like?
I definitely felt like my confidence went up after that because I felt like it wasn't only myself that was seeing the work that I was putting in, but it was also the umpire seeing what was being put on the field, or even other coaches seeing what I had been putting on the field, and they were seeing the work that I was trying to bring to the field that I had put in.
Okay, so those MVPs, it was coaches picking them, right?
Yes, coaches or umpires.
Okay, okay. So and that's nice. That's nice because it could be like, oh, your coach picked it. People will say it kind of biased when all fairness you really did, do the work out there, right? So it's good that the other coaches and umpires picked it so people can't,
Yes.
I mean, you know how it goes. What's some advice like say you at a tournament, right? And just this random little girl, she seen you pitching, playing on the field, all that good stuff, and she come up to you and she was like, "Hey, like I saw you pitching. I think I want to become a pitcher. What's some tips that you can give me?" So, what is something you would tell her?
I would say honestly, just figure out. I would say first you need to make sure you have a strong mental game. I would tell her that you need to have a strong mental game first, but I would tell her find videos, find things that you could work on at home, ask your mom, your dad, anybody who can help you with spins or even small little things like that, because honestly becoming a pitcher was really hard because a lot of coaches had no faith in me at all. Like there was even one coach who told me, "Your daughter's not a pitcher. She'll never be a pitcher." But I ended up doing it, and I ended up getting all my MVPs from it. So yes,
Wow, wow, an adult talking like that
yeah,
about a
yeah.
kid is that's insane, man. I try to understand it sometimes, but I mean, adult talking about a kid, like I just don't get it, right? I just don't understand it. So like you hear those things, right? Like what does that do to you, right? When you hear those things, I know it can make you sad and this and that, but what motivation does it give you when you hear things like that?
My dad always told me to find that fire in me to make myself really want to. Like he said you have to start your engine. He always says you have to start your own engine. And I had really found that after that coach because it really took a toll on me not wanting to pick up a softball, not even wanting to play catch or do anything. So I definitely had to find a way to start my own engine after that.
Mhm. Okay, okay, that's good. That's real good. Like that's showing kids, like you really have a strong mental, and especially being a young girl, like it's hearing an adult tell you something like that. That's just I don't know. Even if it wasn't my kid, like if I wasn't your daddy and I hear that, it's like what are you doing, right? That's yeah. Like I just don't get it. What's some goals that you gonna set for yourself, going into your next season?
Some goals I have set for myself. I really, really, really want to get my speed up. I want to hit 60 before my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
Um, around 60, hopefully. And I really want to get like more comfortable with these older girls because I feel very intimidated with them because I'm just like, what am I doing here? These girls are so much older, like, and I'm just here. I don't know what to do. But I definitely want to get my confidence up around them, just as I did with 14U.
Okay, okay, that's good. Well, I hope you do because I know, like you said, you probably I don't know how tall you are, but playing 18U is some big old
There's
girls
some big
out there.
girls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some big girls. So let's say the count is like is a 3-2 count, is a full count, right? It is a big hitter at the plate, and it's you. Like, what pitch would you want to throw at that moment?
I would say the pitch that I usually go for is probably my inside drop ball. My inside drop
Okay, okay,
usually catches them.
I bet. I bet. Because do your drop ball just right at the last minute and then it just.
Yes, it just drops down, so it really it gets them.
Hmm. So, how difficult is it, right? Because the drop ball, you got to throw one way and the rise ball the other way. And if you're doing good at both of them. Like, how difficult is it to just, pick either or? Like, I know it's, your coach is calling pitches, but maybe sometimes you might be like, no, coach, that one not working right now. Let's go with this one. So, like, how do you go about that?
I would say my coach definitely trusts me to choose my own pitches a lot. He's like, I'm not calling them. You call them yourself. But I would say I feel like when I'm using both of them and they're both really working, I really like to analyze the batter and see where they are. I like to work my levels, which is what one of my coaches taught me a while back ago. Is to work levels like start with the fastball in or out, and then work high, work low, work in and out. See where they're really swinging, and then base it off that.
Okay, okay. So a championship game, you know what I mean? Y'all down and you up to bat, right? You get a hit. What's the emotions that going through you at the
Oh, I'm always screaming on the bags. I'm screaming all
time?
the time. Yes.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I have a question. Hopefully, I can get some more of your people to do this, right? So, who would you or what friend or teammate that you have that you would like to see on the podcast?
Ooh, I would like to see. Let me think. I would. I'm trying to think. I'm not really. I would say. Well, it's Serena. I will get my dad, but Serena. Yes, her name's Serena. She's our first baseman. She's so nice.
Okay, okay, nice. Well, Lizzie, I really appreciate you for reaching out. You and your dad also for reaching out, and wanting to be on the podcast is something that I started for young girls, right? Mainly to get them in front of the camera at an early age for once they make it to the next level, they be ready, for all interviews and everything. And it's a pleasure to have y'all. You not knowing me not one bit, right? And being over there in West Texas is a pleasure that you want to be on my podcast. Like it's a pleasure, you know. But hopefully we can keep this thing going. It don't have to be a one and done thing. If you want to come on a few months from now, once your season start or whatever, you can just let me know or let your dad know. He can reach out and we can make this happen. But we got to be able to get your friend on the show also.
Okay,
All
definitely.
right. So I really
Thank you.
appreciate you again.
Thank you. I appreciate you too. Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too.